So, we are driving to town on a supply run to get hopefully enough dog food to last for like 6 months. The list ended up getting a bunch of other stuff put on it. We also want some fresh fruits and veggies, and surprisingly a bunch of other minor things have gotten added to the list. But hopefully this will be the last big town run. That'd be nice, because the risk is increasing. There are still no cases in Aronga, though a woman from Aronga has gone to Morelia and has it there. And it's right across the lake, so the pandemic is coming this direction. The governments are responding as best they can. It'll be interesting to see if people are wearing masks in town today. I'm here with my team of functional people, Craig and Cece. I will not even be getting out of the van. Last supply run, I kind of injured myself, 2 weeks ago? Just by getting out of the van too quickly. It was so simple. And so I'm now recovering from that and pretty recovered. So we'll be careful today. We're going to be using masks, and we have alcohol spray. And we'll continue to develop our skills of being in a pandemic and not getting it. Our goal is to not get it yet and to delay things. You all set?
Let's go.
All right, let's go. So leaving the Bosque has become a whole different idea. In general, I've lived in the Bosque a lot without leaving. But now it's like going into town has this risk factor. And I feel like we're very well prepared at this point, like more than most people. This virus hit places like Italy, like a storm before people barely knew what was going on. And here we have lots of experience watching what has happened around the world. So my real hope is that things go much better here. We shall see. All right, so they're at the cash machine, which is conveniently located at the police station. That's a very important thing right now, is to get cash, because this is the only cash machine anywhere near here. If you don't use this cash machine, you'd have to travel across the lake. It's pretty much an all-day trip. And this cash machine has run out of cash before, and there could be other problems. So we want to get as much cash as possible now, because turning that cash into products is very important. Particularly stocking up on dried goods and things like that. Because if there's a disruption in the process, we'd be screwed. So prepping up is good. Luckily, I'm not really good at this kind of thing. I've already been prepping up in many ways for years, and I've got a good space to do it. So they're in the Mini Super, the biggest store in town, getting odd things like a pastry brush and some other desired objects. They're really optional, but whatever. I also had them send the LTH guy over, a battery guy. My solar batteries have lasted for 7 years. Normally they last for 4. And I baby them, and that's why they've lasted so long. But they're kind of dying, I think. I had some serious problems where the system was just shutting off at night. But I now have come to believe that there was a few things upstairs in one of the buildings that was left on that normally I would turn off, but they've probably been on since I fell. And so one of those got turned off last night, and I know of another thing that can get turned off. And the problem is I can't just walk around and fix stuff. This gets into the larger problem that the Bosque can't run very well without me. I mean, I'm trying, and I'm managing people and giving instructions on how to do things like pump water and do generator stuff. And so there's been a general problem of the Bosque is too focused on me. That problem is getting fixed by me not being there for 8 months. And now I'm managing, some really basic functionality without me being necessary. Anyway, so I need to get new batteries in any case, even if I don't have the problem that existed. And that's pretty expensive. I suspect it'll be at least $1,500. Solar energy is not a magic solution. The batteries are the number one problem with it, and that's if you want power at night. Now, I only have 340 watts of panels. I have an absolutely tiny system. So I already am, my primary solution is conservation. Alternative energy will not save the world at all. It isn't as energy dense as fossil fuels. We are at the end of the world that can just consume as much as it wants. So lots of people are on solar energy, but they have these huge 10,000 watt systems and massive amounts of batteries, and they just are paying for a different type of contamination. It isn't green in any sense. In any case, I need to get some batteries because I do need to run the place, and I actually need to expand the solar power system because as I have more people there, they will need energy to function. We can still keep the amount of energy per person very, very, very low, like under 10% easily in comparison to what somebody in the industrial world would use. Now, this guy is going to check and see if he can order the batteries I need. They're not here. They're specialized batteries you use for solar systems. I can't pay with a credit card here, which is very bad since I'm in debt and don't have cash to do this. And of course, they're going to turn off my credit card pretty soon anyway. But I have to order with a credit card. There is currently nowhere in this entire town that I know of where you can buy things with a credit card. 0 places. So that's difficult. Oh well, fixing problems. Using a Zoom camera, forget the model number, but I'm actually a little frustrated with it because there's so many steps you have to do to start recording. You have to open the panel, turn it on, and it's really easy to forget to turn it off when you close the panel. Take off the lens cap, flip up the audio thing. It's kind of frustrating. I mean, I like it because it has good audio. That's the only reason I have it. So there's things I like about this camera. They do have another model of Zoom camera that I would like to try out that maybe fits my needs better. I kind of feel like I need to write up all the features I want and don't want to just make a good vlogger camera. It seems like a obvious need that many people around the world, could use a better vlogging camera. And I don't know, I should just write it up. Much less activity in town than before, and a lot more masks. Tons more people are wearing masks in the street. The guy who came and talked to me was wearing a mask. That's probably a good thing. We're out here in rural Mexico. We can definitely slow the spread of the virus, even if we can't stop it, and then we can deal with it better. God damn it. I just did a thing where I thought I was recording and wasn't.
Oh no.
That's alright though.
Okay. I got a clean hand.
Good.
You want to do the hat thing?
Sure, we'll put the change in the hat.
Or I can just keep it in. I can keep your money in my pocket, or. Whatever.
Oh, so this is my money?
Yeah.
Just dump it in there, yeah. We're trying to spray everything we can. Is it perfect? Don't spray the camera. We're trying to spray everything we can. It's not perfect solution, but like we'll spray money.
Receipts.
We'll spray the receipts so they won't blur. We already sprayed a card someone gave us, and the number started immediately blurring. So it's kind of a fun little task that we're on. So how did it go in the store? Did you get the shit?
Yeah.
You got the pastry brush?
I got something
Similar.
with natural bristles.
Okay,
so
something that'll work.
It may work.
Yeah, okay.
But I didn't get many because if it sucks, then we shouldn't have many of them. Although it's just
You're talking about scrubby things, not pastry brush.
I'm talking about pastry brush.
Really? Well, we would just get one anyway.
Yeah, she wanted 2. Although we have one already. Yeah, whatever.
Right, okay. So I sent them off to the hardware store. They're looking for plastic mesh that we can use in a solar dehydrator because some people don't like to put stuff onto metal. They think it gets more stuck there or something. It won't be that expensive. I'll look for it. Right now it's metal mesh, which some things do react negatively to, like tomatoes don't want to be on metal because they're very acidic. So I'm not against the idea, and we'll see about that. I want to get a very small LED light bulb because I'm so sensitive to electricity use right now. And if I want a light next to my bed, I don't need a big light bulb. I just want the tiniest amount possible. The smallest light bulbs that they sell, I think, are 3 watts, which is really small, and I like that. It doesn't use very much electricity. I would rather have lots of very small light bulbs in various spots than any big ones. Selection here is very limited. I do have the Trooper catalog here that I'm kind of shopping through, and I might want to make an order, maybe even in Pátzcuaro, of some things I need. Ultimately, I want to build a whole town, and so it's nice to be familiar with this catalog. Also, I can learn some Spanish, because I don't always know those Spanish words for things. But rather than just take what is out here in rural Mexico, I could actually make an order of things that I need, and that would be really great. They could even make a good sponsor as I publish more and more videos and use their products, or if we send a team into Pátzcuaro to pick up a whole bunch of products there, we could make a really good video out of that. And I do need to get product sponsors of various kinds. We're also going to try and get a watering can, and maybe a way to fix the watering can that's broken. These are metal watering cans, so I have one that has damage on it. It doesn't work now, but we'll see if they can find that. This is a very weird way to do shopping, to send people off to find things you describe, and they don't speak Spanish fluently, but they do pretty good. It's just very inefficient. And, I'm just sitting in the car waiting. It's a little bit strange. Also, I need to get some more rechargeable lights that are portable, because the ones I have are so old that they don't retain a charge anymore. Yeah, all very strange. I sent them to the Papeleria, the stationery store or something, and we got a couple black Sharpies, permanent markers, not Sharpie brand, and I got some gift bags, because I need to give a gift to someone, and I often need to give gifts to people. And here what they do is they put the gift in the bag instead of wrapping it in paper, which is ecologically much better. If you wrap it in paper, people just rip the paper off. Now you got to buy more paper. If you put it in a fancy bag with a nice design, then you give it to someone, and they get the gift, and then they can reuse that bag to give gifts to other people. That's way better system. Got a couple notebooks. I don't know what use this video has, but I think it's interesting to know what things I need to buy in town. Because ideally I wouldn't hardly need to buy anything in town, but I do buy things like pens, and until I can take some feathers and make some ink out of some dyes from plants, we're going to be using pens. And and the pen is made with plastic, which I don't like. That's officially against the rules to have any plastic. It's a rule we break often. So this kind of video will give us a concept of what do we have to buy, because I want to reduce my consumption to nearly zero, but I'm not a fanatic about it. By normal standards, I'm a total fanatic extremist. But you make choices. It's not like we have to do perfect. But if everybody can do better at consuming less than they do now, and then the next year do better at consuming less than they did that year, then pretty soon we can find a lot of useless products to remove from our lives. Somebody asked me online what kind of deodorant I use. I was like, I haven't used deodorant since I was in my 20s, and I was kind of figuring out which social norms I have to follow or not. And I stopped using deodorant because I don't smell bad, and I don't want to wipe my pheromones off or something. So I haven't used deodorant in probably 30 years. It's unnecessary. And other people were talking about alternative deodorants that they can use, but I think we can just drop it entirely. We don't need it. I mean, maybe some people stink really bad. I don't know. But I don't think I stink that bad. And if someone's going to be near me, I would like people near me that like how I smell. So, yeah. Well, now they're off getting fruits and vegetables. They kind of know what to do because we've done this once before. Last time we made it 2 weeks on the fruits and vegetables that they bought. But I think we also had some left over. We also have a lot of potatoes and onions and other things. But they mostly know what they're doing, and they make good guesses about what to get. Also, if they get too much of something, we can usually dehydrate it. So we don't have as big a problem of food waste if we choose the right things. And they can make decisions like get some bananas that are ready to eat now, get some that are too green, and then they'll ripen later. Coming down every 2 weeks for food would be okay. I'd like to get that to 3 weeks. I'm a lot more hardcore than most of the people who come to the Bosque, and I'm not in a very good position to train people how to live in different ways. I mean, I can change it a little bit, but they become very unhappy if they don't get what they're used to. So I have to kind of compromise a little bit with what I think is a better way of living. But I think we'll do all right, and we'll try and go as long as we can before the next purchase, and we'll track what we're consuming. That should help quite a bit. Fruits and vegetables here are not very expensive. A lot of them grow in a tropical area nearby, so most of this food is coming from very nearby. We want to get that tropical food because it's so different and nice. Things like papayas, for example, don't grow here, but they grow so close by that it's worth getting them. Of course, we're planting gardens and increasing the amount of food produced in the Bosque. This is the first time we're doing that and actually caring about it, because food just isn't that big an expense. However, if getting food comes with a risk of getting the virus, or if the food system is disrupted, we want to start getting used to being able to survive with less supply of food. Also, we're preserving some of it by making kimchi and sauerkraut and stuff like that, and of course dehydrating. So one place we checked for dog food, they were out, they don't have any. This place only has 6 bags. I'm trying to get 12 or more. It's really a matter of what my van can handle in terms of weight, because it's a pretty old van. This van is from 1997, so it's a 23-year-old van, and it's been through some harsh adventures. Anyway, but only 6 bags. So we got some dish soap. I was only able to get a little bit. What I want to buy is 5-gallon things with like 20 liters of dish soap. So I'll stop by next time, and I told her what I want, because I like to buy things in bulk. And this is not just because of the virus. This is because it's a better way to buy things. It's less packaging. It's less time going shopping. Okay, so this guy said he has 10 bags of dog food. He doesn't. He's going to check how many he has here. Getting all the dogs deparasited, which is 5 dogs plus 1 that visits. That's 50 pesos each. Definitely worth it. Supposed to be done every 6 months. Haven't done it in years. He's also got chickens, which I'm looking for, but he's got chicks, baby chicks. So he does have dog food here. He's got a couple brands, and so I will be able to get 10 bags. So that will be a total of, I don't even know what I'm buying anymore. 16 bags. I went 24 in total for 6 months. But I just know I gotta buy stuff and whatever. And he's got the deparasiting pills. They're pills, not injections, for the dog, so I can do that. And I don't want the baby chicks, because the baby chicks take too much work. I want to set up a solar brooder that takes care of them with almost no work, and that's big on my list of priorities, because I can just I can take chickens from being little chicks to being old enough to survive on their own with less work than other people can do if I design it right. And I really want to do that. They call this super brooder or something. And I want to improve the entire chicken creating process. So I'm not going to buy any baby chicks. We're still going to set up incubation, and I still need to set up the super brooder, and I will solve all the chicken problems in the world. And if there's chickens in the world, they will eat the garbage, and they'll produce animal protein in a very rich way without killing the animal very often. And that will solve a lot of the meat problems in the world, because I'm trying to reduce the ecological damage that meat eating does. So I think that'll be 16 bags of dog food in total I'm getting. It's kind of annoying that I can't actually be on top of things. I mean, not being able to move really limits my ability. Now, I'm working extremely hard to fix that. I'm walking more all the time. And I'm going to learn from this experience that I do need to rely on other people for some things sometimes, but I want to continue not needing to rely on people very much, and make it very specific agreements about what I rely on people for. So we dropped off a gift for a young lady who's having her quinceañera, or just had it. It might have been a smaller quinceañera than expected. I I think I'd like to suggest that people have Sweet 16 parties next year if they missed their quinceañera this year. Anyway, the gift was a necklace made by a Bosque participant and a nice card that I wrote. And she bought the card, the participant, and dropped that off. And I was happy to do it. It was to the family that I stayed with during the 8 months, almost 8 months that I was staying in town. And they really did a great job of taking care of me. I tried to have a small amount of needs, and my needs reduced over the time I was there. But it was just really nice. I was, essentially living with a Mexican family for a while. And that's the first time I've lived with a family since I was quite young. So it was great. And I really appreciate those folks. And I'm happy to... hola, hola. No voy a tocar nadie.
Good.
¿Cómo está? So we're finally getting back home to the Bosque, the forest out there. And I had to drive up, and there'll be some unloading, I suppose, and some sterilizing of things. And we'll leave some things in the van. If we leave things for 3 to 5 days, the virus on it will die. And that hopefully was the last big run.
That's it.
Craig's looking all pretty and stuff. He found a bougainvillea by the side of the road and grabbed a flower. It's a really great plant. And I guess we're ready to head home here. We're going through the gate.